So, author, is this your first work? We have one microphone, so we'll share. Is this your first work or one of many?
It is my first work. I have made shorter films, in the order of 5 minutes, 6 minutes. I've edited a documentary about 20 minutes long, but this is the first sort of feature-length type project that I've completed.
And when you went to Nigeria, did you have a co-director with you, or were you filming completely on your own?
It was just a one-person crew, it was just me. I ended up going to Nigeria because I was working on another film called One Day I Flew a Fly, also a documentary in which I embarked on following the lives of 4 African students as they went through an American college, MIT. And one of them told me he was going to teach this robotics course that was being organized by other MIT students, and my ears instantly perked up because it sounded really great, especially when they explained to me there was going to be a competition. It just seemed like what they were doing lended itself to a documentary film. There was going to be a natural climax with a competition at the end. They were doing something really cool by taking on a challenging societal issue, and they as youth felt it could make a difference in it. So when I went to film, I actually went to film what I thought would be a sequence in the other feature I was working on. But when I got there and was, talking to people, the students, we opened up, I kind of embedded with them the last 10 days of the first time they run it, and, sleeping in the dorms, having meals with them, going on their trips and all of that. There were a lot of interesting perspectives people were sharing with me about the country, and so I started filming some of those, and eventually, that became the feature that you saw. But yeah, it was just a one-person crew.
So how long were you, first of all, are you from Nigeria originally?
No, I'm from Ghana.
Ghana,
which is, not too far away.
Okay, and were you you were not part of the robotics team at MIT, are you?
No, I'm not.
Okay.
No.
All right. So when you kind of embedded yourself in the community of people that you were filming, was it difficult for them to open up to you in the beginning, or did it take a while really to build the trust where they would talk about what their experience was like, the challenges they faced?
Right. So I think it was easier than it would be otherwise, because I had already met most of the organizers. So the MIT Nigerians who went back to form a company and, teach this camp, they were people that I knew because I'd already been filming One Day to Fly for a year at MIT. So, I'd gone to a New Hampshire retreat at the beginning of the year and had met Obina. He's one of the main characters in it. It's his brainchild, the program. So when I found out, who was running it, I realized I had all this network of people that I'd already met. And so he decided, just come over, we'll pick you up from the airport, we'll give you a bed, and all of that. And because I was, welcomed by the people running the camp, I think, everybody else described as an amount of trust and openness to me already. The thing that I found that improved with time is, them being interview subjects. Because this program was sponsored by big companies, so banks. Shell was a sponsor, the local branch of Shell in Nigeria. And every sponsor had their own camera crew that would come once a week and, film some footage. I guess it's part of the corporate social responsibility. This is what we're doing, and our money is being put to good use. So the kids were already used to, the cameras, but sort of a little bit more at a distance. They weren't used to being interviewed in kind of a little bit more of a friendly fashion. It formal. And so it took them a little bit of time to maybe open up and accept that, oh, this guy with the camera is a little bit different because he's staying with us, he's having the same meals we are and all of that. But then they also got curious when they found out I was from Ghana and not from America, I mean, in terms of nationality. And, I guess Nigerians and Ghanaians have a little bit of a friendly rivalry, and so there were things that I benefited from based on that background.
How did you come to go to MIT, and was it like any process like what they went through, the competition and challenges of getting over to a U.S. university?
So are you talking about
For you coming to MIT.
Oh, okay. So,
yeah.
So how did I come to MIT? Good question. How did that happen? I think my first encounter with MIT, or with this idea of studying abroad, came through my dad, actually. So I was in boarding school in Ghana, and the universities were kind of unstable. There was one year where, something was going on, maybe, some protests, students weren't happy. Some, professors maybe had gone on strike or something, and so the universities basically shut down for many months, and there was a backlog of students. Usually you graduate high school, the equivalent of high school, we call it secondary school, and you'd have to wait a year for a chance to get into the university locally. And then after that, interruption happened, it became a 2-year wait. And so while I was still in high school and all that was going on, I remember my dad came to visit me in boarding school, and he said, I've heard of this test that you can write and get a scholarship to go study in the U.S. Look into that. And so that's the first time I heard about this study abroad opportunity. And then I think at some point in my school library, I found an MIT application, and I really didn't know what the Massachusetts Institute of Technology was back then. But by my final year in high school, there had been some students, some upperclassmen in my high school that had made it to MIT and other prestigious, top universities in the U.S. So, they sort of modeled what that path was, which is, you get good grades in school, which you're already doing. You have to write these exams called the SATs. There are these books that give you samples of the test. You can practice with those. You can ask for fee waivers because you can't really afford the fees or, pay them in the right way. It was pretty complicated a process. And the U.S. Embassy also has a service they provide that's kind of like, I think of it as the equivalent of guidance counseling in high schools here, where they have a library with a lot of, books. You sign up with a little fee to become a member. They give you a tutorial on what to expect in college in the U.S., and then they send you out to do your research. Find 20 schools that meet your needs in terms of what you want to study, how much you can afford to pay, and all of that. And then you have a one-on-one meeting, you kind of go through the process, write your essays, get recommendations, same as any other kid in high school here, that you do it from many miles away.
So it sounds like you didn't feel that fierce competition with your classmates, like what you showed in the Nigerian film.
I think there is some of it in society in Ghana, but I think in Nigeria, at least from my limited observation, there is more of that. In fact, in my high school, and maybe that was unique to my high school, my secondary school, there was competition, but it was competition that helped us kind of get further together. So we would do things like quiz each other. We would set up, tests to prepare for the main national exam that determined whether or not you went into, the next stage, be it university or whatever. And so we would prepare and test each other and kind of make each other better. It was a little bit more collaborative, I would say, and not less stressful, probably, I would say.
Okay. Well, thank you, Author us will be waiting for your next film to come out, and we wish you well with the premiere in Nigeria.
Thank you so much.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
So this is an artist award for author.
So AIFF, of course, loves to be involved in our community, and they're excited to support filmmakers in our community, especially those who are continuing to make work, and we like to continue to make that work possible into the future. Without further ado, there is a presentation of a $500 gift card
Thank
for
you so much.
equipment rentals at AIFF. So we hope that you continue your work.
Thank you, appreciate it.